Call to order. We have myself, Thomas Avila, David Miller, Sean Farley, Joseph Rosenbaum, and Tony Kitchen with William Polhemus joining us via the internet. Yeah, I dig the background. I want to go there.
It's kind of super someone.
Yeah.
The fans are going making quite a bit of noise, so if everybody can speak up, that'd be much better.
Oh yeah. That way you at least have that. Well, I mean, I'm right in front of this mic, but
Right,
at least when you guys talk, I have this. I can point at you too, so that's good. I forgot the shotgun mic though, of course, and the bag of other stuff, including your connectors. I'll get you those.
That's not the biggest thing. You took care of the biggest thing.
Yeah, and it's working out. Yeah.
I didn't get to do it yet. I'm supposed to have it next few days.
Let me know.
Yeah, I got to deal with Dave.
Okay. All right. So let's see. First things first. Secretary's report and minutes.
Everyone get a chance to review the secretary's report?
Yep.
Are there any questions, comments? Can I get a motion to?
I move to accept the secretary's report.
David?
I'll second it.
David and
I'll second.
Thomas?
So
David.
all in favor of accepting the minutes? All right.
Okay.
Thank you, William. That virtual hand is awesome. Treasurer's report.
Hey, I sent it out last night. Not a lot to report. We bought the antenna stand for the ATAS. It's a used unit coming in from overseas. I haven't tracked the package yet, but hopefully it'll be here soon. And this is a Google Workspace. So did everyone get a chance to look at the treasurer's report? I can put it on the screen if you like.
I think I read the first 3 layers of it through the little drop down, but I didn't get to it.
I saw 3,000 some dollars. Your column on the far right middle.
I'm cold.
Hold on. Yeah.
No,
I don't know. That's, there is a new model.
Oh, in there.
Let's just.
Okay, it should be shared on the screen now.
I think a bigger.
All right.
One thing that we didn't really address in the board notion last month when we allocated the money for the antenna, we didn't really specify what budget it would come out of. I just put it in the club overall equipment budget instead of under a specific committee, because I figured everybody would use that. So in the future, when we allocate large, or especially large amounts of money, I would recommend that we, when we allocate the funds, it's unclear which committee it would come from. We should address that. Sometimes it's very clear, like if you're buying digital equipment, that's going to be the digital systems committee. But
Right.
sometimes it's shared, and if that's the case, we have to talk about how it's going to show up in the when we put the expense statement.
Right.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I move to approve the treasurer's report subject to audit. This is William.
I second.
All in favor?
Favor.
All right. Next up, digital systems.
Wow, we're already there. Is there anybody from Digital Systems other than, I guess, maybe me?
No, I'm part of the
I
program.
am my own digital systems.
I think Luke is supposed to have a report, but he's not here, so
He's worked on
If
one.
we have time, we can use at the main meeting. Maybe we could ask him to do it for you now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
email
He's
him
trying to
with
get
the
down
word.
here, that was the intention. I can say this much, that there's a cavity filter we need for pepper kale. I think we got the G2, right?
Mhm.
But we need get it set up, like the cable, antenna. Like Jim has got some, could maybe sell. However, I don't know how they're going about that, but those are the parts. I think, and the focus is still Pepe Gale.
Well, make
Okay.
sure to run it by me and William, as we both could easily have what you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is Luke has got, or Gary. I think Gary's been very preoccupied with puppies.
Yeah, he's had to deal with those. And chickens made it back in. Okay, well, yeah, we'll try and touch base with them, and then if an email can be sent, that'd be good. Then at least we have a list of the things needed. That'd be
He
good.
could still show up at some point.
Yeah, he might
He's
just
trying
pop
to
up.
get-
So we
He
could
works
circle back to
Sundays.
that if anything. We'll move on to education and outreach.
Okay.
I know you've been busy.
Yeah.
Well, so I was going to start by saying it's been a quiet summer, really, but
Quiet summer?
we supported the siren nets as we usually do, and a lot of people in the club do it. But the ENOC is dedicated to supporting that net, and we try and jump on Tony's administration whenever we can. And we also attended an Oxcom training, and there were two of us, Thomas and myself, attended a 2-day training sponsored by the county, and the FCC representative. One of whom came in from, I believe he came right from Washington, right? Yeah, we're joined by a whole chicken team here as well.
A hen and 9 chicks.
This
Yeah,
meeting
they're
is
very good
going to the
terriers.
chickens.
Yeah, the chickens have taken over.
Okay, yeah. Usual by our executive and member meeting attendance, and the Oxcom training was I thought it was very beneficial. There's a 5-day course going on right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had work and I couldn't make that. If it were a weekend thing, that'd be great, but
Yeah.
it was during the week, so
I
not.
couldn't attend either. so,
Yeah.
very
But it
good.
was good. A
Yeah.
good way to learn about all of the forms and everything that we have to deal with, considering.
Very good. And it's indicative, I guess, of the way the things are going with the county and the civil defense. And that we seem to be embraced more and more
Yeah,
at the buyer level and hand level with participation in that. Everybody hear me? Okay. So yeah, that was very good. Any questions on that? Okay, we attended the KO Elementary School was the first event of the new school year. And I wasn't in attendance, but Fred, Jim, and Joe, I believe, were all there. And everything went well, I believe, yeah. And then later on in August, there was a Latter-day Saints event. And again, were you there, Joe? Yeah. Same crew, basically. I wasn't there, but very good. And I was actually attending Stop the Bleed trauma schooling myself, so it's part of CERT. So. Stop the trauma. And scheduled for September, we have the siren test. We've already had that, of course. And Fern Forest, we went to the second event. Well, we had to cancel the second event actually because of the arrival of Kiko. Yes.
Who ran that one at Fern Forest? Was that the,
Hannah.
was that the local?
Yes.
There's a whole board and group.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
We're invited to
like
one in
that?
November as well,
No.
so.
No,
it's gonna be-
They're involved, they
They are.
but, this is a Fern Forest, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's part of the activity. I forgot
Yeah,
the
the
name.
first one we
Friend of
went
mine
to
was
was Bill Hanson and Talmadge.
all my
It was
people there.
quite heavily
Red Cross,
supported.
Cool.
Politicians, everybody was there.
Oh, am I getting
And there'll be another one in November, coming up in November. And let's see, airport emergency, triennial airport emergency stand-up is scheduled for September 18th. That's not really BIARC as much as CERT, but we will be a number of BIARC participants in that as well. So, and then VOAD monthly meeting and Waiakea Elementary School, October 1 is the next school night with the Science and Technology Museum. And that's basically it. Usual crew and much appreciated. Participation in the school events. If we could solicit more participation on the repeater, we're talking to, it's the same people. Lee Critchlow usually fields calls, but if more people could jump in and participate in that, it would make it more interesting. So,
Hey, David?
Yeah.
I suggest you send it out to the listserv before the event, either the day before or the day of.
Yeah.
If it's a BIARC event, send it to BIARC@PTH.net. And there's a lot of people on that
yeah.
listserv. Because I actually didn't know about it. The only reason I heard it is because I leave my radio on and I happen to be in the radio room.
Yeah,
Also
thanks.
put on,
Thanks for jumping in.
put on Discord and Facebook as well.
Okay, well, that's a good point taken. Yeah, thank you. So that's it. And then future, just continue more of what we're doing. Any questions?
No?
Okay, great.
No actionable items or anything. But thank you for the update. Operating activities.
Okay, so we're gearing up for the C2 Worldwide. We secured the venue for here, so we don't have to pay the fee for like Wailo or whatever. So that's awesome. And we also got the antenna permission, so we're all set with that. And basically, that's all that happened so far this month. And I mean, last month and this month, once we're gonna find out after this meeting or during this meeting, about the funding and everything else, and then we'll get everything taken care of and be ready for C2 Worldwide. That's all I have.
Okay. Program. What,
So programs, really kind of had to bunt after we're doing the redo of the 10 meter for technicians today. And the program that I had for today got tabled instead. And that was actually still a technician oriented program. It was a specific request we got for some basics for technicians. Everything from initial radio programming to, knowing where you can transmit, various things like that. It was just a collection of technician questions. However, so we are coming up towards the time where we have to worry about our semi-annual membership meeting. The November meeting is just around the corner, which means we also have to worry about nominations and elections. So we need to make sure that we get an announcement out today that that is coming up and that we need to be collecting nominations. So we should have 3 board member positions that are coming open for nominations. And you guys may recall that a couple of meetings ago, I told you this will be my last term in the trustee position. So next year, my position will need to be replaced by appointment. Normally, I was running the elections committee, the ad hoc committee for elections, but this year I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. In the past, I did it because I was never up for re-election, so there was no conflict of interest. But my availability is just too spotty over the next couple of months that I don't know that I'm going to be able to reliably serve in that role. So that's mostly concerning the November. So we still have to worry about an October program. I have a number of programs in the bag that I could present, but I'd actually like to renew my push to get some guest speakers. I think we do very well when we get a presentation from outside the club coming in. The last one of those I was able to organize was from NIST when the chief engineer from WWVH came and talked to us. I've got a couple of guest speakers that I've been talking to, but since I hadn't had any concrete dates to give them, I'm going to reach back out to a couple of the guest speakers that I've been talking to and see if any of them can do October. If not, I'll just pull one of the programs I have in the bag out and we'll use that. Beyond that, December is the holiday party, so there's no real program for the holiday party, but we also need to start talking about the holiday party and start that coordination now. In the past, Lee took point on that, but I don't want to, assume she's going to do it again. So we should get ahead of that now so that we're not trying to throw it together at the last minute, especially if she doesn't want to run it this year. So that's pretty much it for programs.
Okay. I have been in touch with Steven from the aerospace program that they have at DEF CON 33. I saw the badge that they did last year at last year's con, and I got in touch with him about it. And he didn't have any more on hand, but it's an ADS-B receiver that has a rotating radar display. I thought that was pretty neat, and he actually offered to do a program for us talking about ADS-B. So we can add that to the mix if you want to. They were super helpful and outgoing about that. I figured keep that in the bag for now, but it's there, and you could just call on them on about a week in advance, and they were willing to do something for us. I think there was one more thing, I just can't remember. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, every time I have somebody who does a presentation at DEF CON do a presentation for anybody that I'm involved with, suddenly I have to change all my passwords.
At least this is just the aerospace guys. It's not the hardware hacking village or the you might have to change your padlock village. No, right on though. Yeah. Trying to bring
that one
up
sounds
the
awesome.
party and everything, right? Yeah, it's a nice badge too. I really wish they had put him into production, considering like it beats the pants off of any ADS-B receiver I've ever seen. Super neat for being a little thing you hang around your neck and has like all of the planes, literally like an old school radar that just pulls info out of the air.
If they don't want to put them into production, maybe we can get them to release their board Gerber and stuff like that, and we could make it
They're already open source.
Yep, and we could make it a club project.
Oh God, that'd be a fun one. That'd be a good one.
Would that be an appropriate implementation on the ENOC for school visits?
Yeah, the kids would lose their minds if they saw something like that sitting around. And I've been looking at the displays and everything. So if I can get a bill of materials and a cost for a basic one, and even if I just have to print the cases, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
And I'll have to look at their design, but because I remember seeing it briefly, but I didn't really pay it any mind. But I actually wonder if we could, up the octane on it a little bit, and then also add, the AIS, the ADS-B, but also some of the other stuff that we have, like Meshtastic and APRS, and make it display them all.
I mean, I was looking at, instead of using an ESP room, you can use one of the newer C5 chips, and it has enough octane behind it to do, some interesting stuff with 2.4 gigahertz and 5.8. So you could easily, and Bluetooth, so you could easily connect to one of the units that we already have sitting around doing ADS-B and everything. So it could be a fun one. I'll try and bring it up during the TechNet as a reminder, so we can get into that. But yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. So
Especially
my thought is that might attract in the people who aren't interested in Meshtastic, but are interested in ADS-B or APRS, or just really broaden it. And I think being able to see everything around you on that display would be kind of neat.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So William, can you hear me, William?
I can.
What thoughts do you have about a trustee? Never really, when I came to this club, you were the trustee. These were the people. I'm just curious, because the club seems to be in a kind of precarious place in comparisons to what I know of its past.
I mean, the trustee is a unique role. The trustee doesn't technically even have to be involved in things at certain levels. That they are a voting board member, but it's so it's what does the club want out of their trustee is what I would say, because the trustee before me was Paul Ducasse and he did great. Former club president and several other positions. I was vice president, I was president. So having somebody with some history on the board helps, because they understand the history of how things work. But really what the trustee needs to know is they need to know the FCC regulations through and through, not just Part 97, but Part 90 and Part 95 as well. Part 80 is also helpful to know. So because the trustee is ultimately responsible for keeping us out of trouble. And you guys may recall several times I've taken a voracious position on something simply because of FCC regulations. So, like I said, it depends on what the club wants out of the trustee.
All right.
So, and I don't have a set end date for my participation. So, if we want to think about who it is we want to recruit into that position, if I need to hang on for X number of months beyond January, I'm willing to do that. It's not a big deal. It's just my availability is getting tighter and tighter and tighter as I spend less time on island.
For sure. I just still feel new to this, really. Well, you knew when I got started as a ham, so especially club, club politics or however you want to word that. So, thank you. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. I seen a trustee as somebody who's very technically inclined, like you say, knows FCC, just really understands everything about all the little nuanced realities of being an amateur radio user. But yeah, what little I know of Paul and you guys, there's a lot of talent on this island. For sure.
One thing I will say is that by club rule, the trustee has to be an extra so that our club call sign has extra privileges.
Okay. Oh,
Definitely worth noting.
yeah. All right. Well, no actionable items on that. I'll be in touch about that transceiver or the receiver.
Yeah, and I'll go rewatch that video when I get a chance, because
Worth
like I said, I skimmed through that video, but I'll rewatch it. Let's specifically look at that.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, public service communications. Is anybody here from public service communications? That would be less, but
On public service communication.
any report?
No, well, so, I was working pretty closely with civil defense, the recent events. They were communicating, Bill Hanson asked me to send out a message on their behalf. Gosh, what was the latest? Oh, the hurricane. I already forgot what it was.
There's been a bunch of stuff. I don't blame you.
So, it is a tighter integration, I would say. The civil defense areas of fire. It's not ideal, but it's, they're thinking of us for sure.
Yeah.
Keeping us in
You're aware of our antennas.
So I think that's progress.
Well,
Okay.
Sorry, I just need 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I attended Vert this Saturday. I tried to meet up there with Doug and the gang. And it's just great to QSY over things and simplex and just the different kinds of connectivity. And he's got that massive tower in his neighborhood, so we are always, full of quieting. But I'll bring up the Meshtastic thing about what he's doing. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of the T1000Es so that I could just have that with me instead of rolling around with all the Meshtastic gear. And then I set up an antenna on the front side of the house. I got to reposition it and make it more waterproof, but I figure having the node that I had in the car, at least up there, it should help a bit. And then I need one more so that I can make it something where I can attach an external antenna. A G2 would be preferable, but as soon as I went to go look, they were out of
Again,
stock. Yeah.
I
And
have one
they're
I can
expensive. Oh
sell.
my God, they're so expensive. But yeah, we'll talk about that then, because it would be a good right there in my backyard. It would be a good bridge point between Puna and you guys up the
I
hill.
see ET's node now showed up on one of my maps. But yeah, I think that there's some really interesting, like Jason too, who's in digital.
Mhm.
His group, he's got a nonprofit going. He's going to take over a website, and he's got his little nodes scattered throughout the states of Hawaii. You know, they're running off a MQTT that me and this dude in Maui put together. That's getting some heavy utilization at times. But then you've got Bill, who is just, oh man, he's another level.
I think the G2 can actually do a store and forward system too. That would actually be awesome. And then I'm looking at making a setup for what's it called? I want to do a BBS. Considering everybody here knows how awesome a BBS was in the 90s,
Yeah,
having a
well,
bulletin board system up
there's
for,
right now
for
4
everything.
BBSs up.
for
I have-
Meshtastic. Awesome.
I have
right on.
2 of them. I also run AI. Bill, God knows what he does.
Did I
He's
hear
got
right?
several store and forth. But
Nothing,
this is part of
nothing
what I'm
like
going to report
actionable.
later.
Yeah.
Because I have a bit, you know, of
Yeah.
background
Okay. Yeah.
from,
Because
from
I
an
might need
infrastructure
I
point of
might
view.
I might need help with the infrastructure on that part. Just talking about the Meshtastic a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But nothing really board
No,
oriented and related, but
Okay,
there's stuff for
just
later.
now.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
What are we
just-
on now?
Next we are on to voice repeaters. And
Okay, so I got an email from Trevor, and he says he has nothing new to report because he has an older grandfather, and he's been being most of the time dealing with him, so nothing new to report.
I do have
Okay.
one update, which I haven't had a chance to share with the rest of the committee yet. So as you guys know, the state was sponsoring us to install the microwave hop from Kalani to Pepekeo, still are. But they have not even been able to get a response to their emails from Civil Defense to get formal final approval, just, say, yes, we knew you were doing this and you can do it on this day. So until Civil Defense tells the state that they can have it installed, we can't actually go install it. So that's what the hangup has been ever since I think it's been 6 months now. We've been waiting on them to answer their emails. So in the meantime, I am working with the state to do an alternate backhaul because they've worked with me to set up backhaul between Kalani and Mauna Loa. And there is a way to bring that same circuit, it's a T1, down to Hilo. And then I can jump from Hilo to Pepekeo from one of their sites to the Pepekeo site because we don't need county permission to do either one of those. So more to come on that, but that's the current status. Oh, and
Question,
one other
William.
thing. I
Go ahead.
noticed an email that the club is looking for VHF repeaters. The club has several VHF repeaters, so I've got to get with the rest of the committee and find out what it is that they were looking for in particular and make sure they know what we already have.
I didn't see that email
Neither did I.
that you're referring to. William.
was that from earlier from Frank? I
No.
just saw
Let's see
Different than-
if I can.
Specific.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the right email account. I know that somebody reached out to Paul Agamata asking if he had any that he wanted to sell the club. And Jim, EMN, was actually the one on that email that I remember. But yeah, it's buried in my email at the moment. I can't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering who would have sent it? Who would have initiated that request?
Don't know because I haven't I don't know if there's been committee meetings. I haven't been invited to any, so I don't know what their plans are.
I don't think there's been any committee meetings.
I think there's been some discussion between Luke and Gary regarding Pepakeo and the G2. That's about as far as that goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
that's
Peter.
digital systems. We're talking about voice repeaters.
No,
So
I'm on the committee. I would like to
William, I have
learn
a
someday.
question about your Kulani microwave lane and the state involvement. What was the justification or reasoning behind, were we just going to the state because we figured that they had pull with the county, or was there something else involved?
No, the whole original intent of that link wasn't just for BIARC. We were going to give the state some bandwidth on that as a backup connection to their equipment at Kulani, because they currently have a single path there. And their backup connection would be over the county microwave, but the county's microwave has proved so unreliable that they can't use it. So they were very interested in having a backup connection, and we still hope to do that at some point. But so it was a joint project between us and the state to put that in all along. But like I said, with Civil Defense's representative for that stuff not answering anybody's emails, it's just dead in the water until the county says, yeah, you can go ahead and do it, because it's their tower.
So the idea is that we're sharing the, what's the Ubiquity rocket that we got? Would they'll have some bandwidth on that device, wireless?
Yeah, so we were going to give them a VLAN on that, and they only need a couple of megabits at max, so it's a small fraction of what our rocket can carry. And then that was in exchange for the other circuit from them that will connect us to other sites that we don't have a connectivity to, like Mauna Loa.
Hang on, William. Getting a little bit of like,
DVI. The rocket's 2.4 gigahertz.
there we go.
No,
Not-
it's 5.8.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I had forgotten. That was the one we put up a few years ago, right?
No, it's never been able to be put up because
Oh.
we got everything done, and then COVID happened, and then we couldn't get a hold of the hardware to mount it to the tower. And then when we finally got a hold of the hardware, the staff had changed at Civil Defense, and we said, "Hey, we want to move forward with this. That your predecessor approved, and they've never once answered a single one of the emails."
Yeah.
Sorry, I got
Before
it
my
mixed up.
time
There's
even.
one in Pepakeo too. There's
It's a different issue.
yeah,
Yes.
Ubiquity, but I thought we were also trying to
Yeah.
get
That's
that
the
wired with a connection.
problem that we're not here.
Same connection. So the connection to be able to link everything at Kalani to the rest of the world is dependent on that microwave hop. And like I said, I'm working with the state. They've been real amenable to, even though we haven't been able to do our part. They know that it's Civil Defense that's the holdup, and they're familiar with that because it's not just happening to BIARC, it's happening to all the federal agencies, state agencies. It's the emails just are not being answered anymore. So that they're still, holding up their part of the deal. They're still going to provide us that circuit to be able to get from Kalani to Mauna Loa. But as a part of that, we'll see if we can extend that down to like maybe the state office building and then connect over to Pepakeo from there, at least until such time that the issues between civil defense and the rest of the world get cleared up.
Okay.
Oh, and one final thing. With that whole request to see if anybody had VHF repeaters, the Department of Land and Natural Resources radio system known as GreenNet, which has been defunct for a number of years, is in the process of being replaced. It's already been replaced on a few of the islands, and as we speak right now, well, not today because it's Sunday, but this week, literally, some of the replacement equipment here is going in. They are going to no longer use the old repeaters that they had. The repeaters were fine. It was the rest of the system linking them that was the problem. And those are Motorola Quantar VHF repeaters. I have been talking to those guys for a couple of years that say, hey, once this is finally replaced and you surplus that equipment, I'd sure love it if you would donate it to the club. So I had already spoken to the board about that a couple of years ago, and they approved me to pursue that. So just be aware, I'm still pursuing that. And as the project gets to the surplus date, because that's an official process in the state, I'll still be seeing about getting them to donate those repeaters. I believe it's 6 VHF Quantar repeaters, which is the same model of repeater that we have at Pepe Cayo and Kulani. And some of them may come with cans, but I don't think, all but maybe 2 would, if they even gave us the cans. But still, the repeaters would be great to have as spares for our existing repeaters, but also for the other ones that we want to build out.
How many repeaters?
I believe it's 6.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Meeting days and times, old business.
No time to do the survey. Not looking like I'm gonna have any time to do the survey in the near future. Same thing with the, William and I needed to do the update on the Constitution and bylaws.
Mhm.
I cannot see any light at the tunnel when I can schedule either of those things.
Hey, Tony, instead of doing that as a meeting, how about I write it up based off of the motions that I made and the notes I have on the other couple of motions, and I send it over to you and you review it and make sure that I, capture it the same as you understand it, and we just do it that way.
Okay.
Sounds good.
The wrong one. This is a
I second
revised
that.
one. There's no things, the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I must have skipped to the wrong month there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
All business is discussed.
Yep. all right. Yep, my bad. I was on the wrong part there.
We're on the,
Discuss laptop and tripod funding. Well, you talked about the tripod
Yeah.
a little bit.
So we ordered the tripod. Moving on to the laptop. Joe, do you want to,
Yeah.
describe what you got there?
Okay, so I looked at 2 possibilities. I had talked before and with Tony, and for visibility in the highs, outside and everything, we found out 400 nits display is minimum for what we need, right? Now, for that, that's usually on higher end computers that cost a lot more money. But I found one on Amazon. $15.6 FHD display, i7 processor, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. It has 400 nits. And it has Windows 10 Home, but we talked about that. We can do it or whatever, and it's gaming capable, right? So that's the one we originally said for 400. Now I did find one for about 400, and that's a 17-inch, but it only has an i3, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabyte, and 250 nits for Windows 11. So I don't know. I'm thinking the Amazon one for 600 is really what we need.
I would agree. That Amazon, that one on Amazon, what brand was it, did you say?
Oh, hold on one second. Give me, some. I want to say it was Dell, but
So I'm gonna make a motion here. I move that we adjust the allocation from last month for the laptop purchase to $650. And we divide that in the budget or in the accounting process, so it's shared amongst 3 different groups. Those groups would be the programs, the operating activities, and the education and outreach. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So that each of those committees would basically have a third of the cost attributed to them.
I go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be
How does that
used.
jive with our budget?
You're seconding it?
Pardon me?
How does that jive with the budget for each of those groups?
We have
So we're talking about each of those groups spending a little, roughly $200. And those,
Okay, the reason I asked is that programs only has $100 budget for the year.
we might end up going over budget on some of those groups, but that's just the way it would have to be.
Yeah, the outreach has less than 100, I believe, yeah, like Cyril.
Yeah, you're right. We wouldn't going over budget.
Well, you know, you could use just thought, you can use it for digital too. Digital
Well,
has a budget.
I see this as infrastructure. So
That's what I see it as.
we've got $3,000 in the infrastructure fund as of 8/9.
And 50% of that was allocated to digital systems and 50% to voice repeaters.
That is correct.
Certainly could be used for several committees, really.
So we could equally divide the expense across all committees.
Yeah, because if it's a good computer, we can set up some FTA.
There was
Yeah.
also
Okay,
a $400 allocated out of the general administrative fund for equipment. And we've only spent $87.50 out of that for the antenna stand. It's just no one fund covered the $600 expense, so I'm trying to figure out how we divide it up.
How is this going to be used primarily?
All of the above.
Yeah, education, outreach, and operating activities, I think are gonna be a good part of it, of what we use it for. And also like for club presentations and so forth, and maybe,
Are we going to
Tony
use
was
this
talking
laptop
about
every month
Lap-
for these meetings?
we
Yes.
can,
I think so.
Because that might actually simplify some of the setup month to month.
Build it. Man.
Yeah, I think we're struggling with limited sort of technical capabilities right now with the equipment we're using.
Yeah, we will definitely need to use laptop every month for our program.
It'll cut down on a lot of the lugging of stuff.
So it's like the board meetings, the educational outreach, the field days.
So here's the crux of the matter. The bottom line is whether this is paid for out of our regular income stream or out of the infrastructure fund. You know, those are the two bottom lines. And if you look at the operating statement, basically income received so far, less expenses paid so far, we have $557 unspent. For the
So
year.
my take is that when it's such a general use item, general use equipment is why we have an equipment line item in the budget.
Yeah, I agree. We could just expend it or put it under the club administration equipment line. That might
And-
be a better. Then we
That-
go over
that
budget
80
on that one.
That 8775, I don't think should have come out of that because that's not so specific. That was for a specific radio.
That was for the ATAS antenna stand.
Yes, for that specific ATAS antenna for the club's specific radio. But so what I'm saying is that if we put it all under the equipment fund, we're gonna go, 287.75 over budget. We go over budget no matter where we put it in the disbursements for many of those general funds, unless we, like I said, put it under a donation fund. But so the motion that's on the table right now allocated it to which funds and what amounts?
$650 allocated to a three-way split. I'll amend that motion. $650 allocated to club administration equipment. Do I have a second to my amendment? John seconds.
Okay, well, and like I said, if really what this boils down to me is, are we doing it out of donation funds or are we doing it out of general fund allocations? So,
The general fund allocation is what I'm suggesting.
Okay.
It's, basically we might be $50 or $70 over. We might be spending a little bit more this year than we brought in. That's okay.
Are you proposing we distribute it across a number of?
No, I
Okay,
amended my motion and Sean seconded it. And we're not gonna put it under the committees.
okay,
We're just going to take it out of the club administration
very good.
equipment line item, which means.
yeah,
general
that addressed
fund.
my concern that we were going to make a committee think that they didn't have any more money left for the rest of the fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a cleaner solution.
Yep.
Okay.
Any
Well-
further discussion?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait you to say,
Well, it was seconded, so,
so,
there's no more discussion. All in favor?
all right, motion passed, right on.
All right. Right on. Next up, buy our flyer point of contact.
The tripods included in that?
Buy our flyer point of contact. Everyone remember the buy our flyer that veteran? Who made that? Was it
I think
Wes?
Wes, yeah.
Yes.
So is there a who on the flyer for a point of contact? Or we have to redesign the flyer to add a spot?
I think there's some room. I think, does anybody have to give a flyer?
No, I don't.
I'm sure we can figure out one way or the other. I don't think it's a big deal. I think there is some room.
Okay, so I guess the issue for this is who would be the point of contact?
I'd say I could do it, but with the amount of mail I seem to miss, I don't know if that's good.
Well, maybe maybe instead of
I
an individual, we do it as a shared resource like the BIARC board Gmail account.
Okay.
So we don't need a phone number, right? We just look at the email.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution. We all have access to that, right?
You know?
I think so. Never seen it.
I-
I mean, I might,
Well,
I just not
At a
know.
minimum, as it sits today, several of us have access to it. And I think what that means is that there's always going to be somebody who can respond in a timely fashion.
So I think the intent was all the officers should, and the trustee would have access to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That- Whether or not we achieved that, that was the intent. But we could have, really the entire board could have access to it. It's a little bit tricky when your Gmail doesn't really intend for 7 people to share one account. So it's a little bit tricky because anytime somebody logs in and it has to do the 2-factor authentication thing, I believe it's sending to all of our devices.
Yep.
I
The
get it.
alternative to that, And currently the way it works on our QRZ page and a few other things is that it points to the trustee's email account, which is trustee.kh6ej@gmail.com. And I set up that email account for when I registered as trustee to the FCC. So my thought there was that anywhere where it relates to the call sign, it should go to the trustee. But if you do that, then whoever's the trustee is the de facto single point of contact, and everything works at the speed of the trustee. So it's an option, but I still think it's better to run with the BIARC board Gmail account.
Maybe we do both. The trustee and the buyer board.
Yeah, but now you no longer have that single point of contact. So now the BIARC board or the BIARC trustee email account, I believe, has access to the BIARC board email account. So if it comes there, it's still going to both.
So why don't you just have info at BIARC and then write a script from BIARC board to filter over to info or,
That's easier just to go straight to buyer board.
okay.
I
just think
so
it's
many
like-
email accounts that have auto boards like
No,
that.
they don't, you don't have the ability to add email accounts within,
Oh, no, we
G-
could. We could
Gmail.
do exactly what you're saying.
okay,
But
I'm
I've
just
already got
curious.
12 or 15 that I'm responsible for that fit through that exact same thing. I see.
Yeah, it gets
So
under
in-
control.
And currently, like on the club's Facebook page, when we get messenger messages, it comes in, and those of us who have access to that, which I know at a minimum is currently myself and Joe, because he usually beats me to responding to people. They respond to it. So to kind of be the same way.
What email account is that under? The Facebook page?
I'm
Well,
not
pick
sure
one
it
of the-
requires an email account. It's
Well,
it's an organization account, and you have to have a different Facebook account as the owner. So currently I'm the owner, but I could transfer it to anyone else. So I'll just transfer it to the next trustee. But I believe lists the BIARC.board email address in contact information. But when people contact through Facebook, they don't go out to email to do it. They just click, send a message, and they do it through Messenger.
Well, buyer.board at gmail.com seems easy.
Sounds good to me.
So the other issue, this happens anytime people generate a flyer in PDF format, the source gets lost. And then somebody has to end up trying to convert a PDF to a source file.
So why don't we get a copy of the source on BIARC.board at Gmail, so we have an archived source?
Well, that's why I asked who had it.
Oh,
I can't find it. I don't have it.
I would say less.
Yeah, so somebody's got to follow up with Les. And whether or not Les is going to make that a priority is another question. You can take the PDF, especially if you have Adobe Acrobat Pro, which I will never buy.
I have it.
You
I
have-
own a copy.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have
so-
to have it for work.
So I could send somebody that has Acrobat Pro the PDF and then you can convert it to Word format. And it's not a problem.
Doesn't do bad.
I have a question. Was that just discussion, or do we need to make a move and a vote on the point of contact? Or is that just discussion?
I think that's just discussion.
Okay.
Typically, if it's monetary related,
It's more about ease of use,
then we're talking about, well,
Gotcha.
this is
less
it's a
work
small
to do.
change to adopt.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
What's next?
Next up, digital systems discussion.
Sean, that's you.
was it
You're up.
digital? Oh, is that what that is?
That's yours.
I mean, maybe it's something to bring up in, at the meeting, but it was just more like kind of inquiry, just talk about Arden, All-Star, Ham VoIP, the VoIP phones, Meshtastic, all the things I
Each of
love.
those things could be a top of the whole program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more about
Moving
what
it.
I can hear more from this point of view is like, what are you doing? Are you using these things? Are you interested? There's a lot of hardware out there. There's some changes. Some of Hemboy's business has changed. As DBI knows. Just some ideas, some participation ideas, like, I have a number of, HAPs. They're about ready to get retired. Some are, because Hawaiian All-Star is going, updating some of their equipment. DBI's got one free, right? V2. I got a V3. There's more memory. So I was thinking of, and I brought this up with Gary, in Discord too, about taking and creating maybe a Go box where we have the old router, HAP, some kind of antenna. We have a 5.8 gigahertz dish, and just kind of create a project on that. Like, it's easy for us hands to just kind of participate on my own. I'm totally cool with that. I do that. But finding something that we can kind of join in together. Tony has the chops to put that kind of thing together. I'd like to, I have a phone, a HAP. Yeah, I'd like something like that. And the other is All-Star. I'm back on All-Star once a month, doing a TechNet. Dave and Hawaiian All-Star asked me to do it. It's incredibly awkward, but it's more to the idea of trying to promote, again, participation. DBI and Joe is my scribe, if anyone's aware of that. It's on the second Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You can reach All-Stars, everyone knows, who uses it from anywhere, you know, through various modes. And that's what I think is great. Again, back to that participation. It's the Hawaiian All-Star TechNet. It's really a roundtable, and it's meant to just check in, say something.
Tuesday,
Second Tuesday, once a month at 7 o'clock. And it's on the Hawaiian All-Star Network, or however you're going to figure out. As you guys know, there's a number of ways to get on that network. There's a guy from Australia. He checks in sometimes. He's on, I think, C4 members. There'll be something like that. It's some sort of digital. So,
well, if there's ever like an extra 10 minutes of free time in a program, I'm sure Sean and I could bring up these topics.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
yeah.
Put it
Yeah,
out
it's
there,
more
yeah.
about just say, hey, what are you doing with this? There's like, I just built a new Mestastic node. I've been doing more networking and other things with that. And within 24 hours, this is the growth of Mestastic BI. Almost 300 nodes populated that node. And I'm not talking about my big ass antenna, 22 feet in the air that's shooting out to everybody with RF love. You know, these little devices, this thing. And this has been like over 3 months. This thing was like once upon a time, not too long. So just, well, what are people doing? What do they expect with these devices? Not to leave it out, like All-Star kind of reached this point. So participation.
All right.
Okay.
I
I mean, nothing actionable with that, but yeah, bring that up during the meeting too.
No, I mean-
Actual like program. That way-
actionable would have been trying to figure out, like, say, digital committee, figuring out what they would do, like creating virtual machines up at Epic Kale. Some of the earlier conversations I think me, Gary, and William had kind of off the shelf in various ways, a backbone system. Once you got a T1 connection using microwave. And I know the guys would love to see Epic Kale and Railroad tied together still, if that were ever possible. The dish is 5.8. So what BIARC wants to do with that, I am not.
Tied together on Arden.
Because I got to remember the Arden, so I confused that one at PepKO that Gary and, you know, we put up with. Well, you were there too, April.
Yeah,
Remember a few years ago, it's 2.4 though.
Yep.
So, but we have two 5.8 dishes. They are more than happy to accommodate us if we ever have any interest in that in Arden. So, good feeling.
Okay, what's next?
next up, insurance.
Sure.
Sure. So guess coverage really is the issue. Coverage for events, special events, and the club's exposure on these events, I guess. is the issue.
So the club is covered, right? The idea of a COIA, certificate of insurance, that is when another entity wants to know that we've got the coverage,
Right.
right? So County of Hawaii is nervous that we're holding an event at their park. We asked our insurance company to issue a certificate of insurance for that specific day and time. And that request that we put into the insurance company, we put down, there's a form, that we have to fill out that asks us certain questions about the event. When is it? When does it start? When does it end? How long is it? How many people do you expect to be there? Are you going to be serving alcohol? There's certain questions
Right.
that,
Yeah, there we go.
basically we have to put on that form. We send the form electronically to the insurance company and they give this certificate that we then email out to whoever.
I
wants.
put one of our past certificates up on the screen so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
what do
So,
you got?
and this is a standard form. I mean, these look just like the forms I issue from my insurance for commercial operations. And here's the part he was talking, the description down here. This is where we just need to list what we're doing and where it's going to be, things like that.
So it's a standard pro forma, basically. We just fill in the information
Now,
and provide it. Yeah.
so far, I haven't gotten a response on whether or not they can do a blanket. So basically, these forms are specifically for events, right? I don't know if they would be able to say this certificate of insurance is like every month on the second Sunday of the month, right? Typically, it's a
Yes,
one-time event.
you can, and I've done that with the county on the commercial side many times. And you just have to be, as specific as you can be, but you can say that for regularly scheduled meetings, which typically occur on the second Sunday of every month or something like that, it doesn't require absolute specificity, and you can make it extend for as long or as short as you want, and you can make them open-ended so that it extends as long as the policy is valid.
Well, it came up as in regard to this Kamana Center and that, so they could potentially hold you, but it could raise its head at any. I don't know how the county or the state deals with these issues, but we should have something we can pull out of our file cabinet and present.
Just be aware that it doesn't mean, you don't have to have a COI to have insurance. We have insurance.
Yeah,
period.
yeah,
The COI is just kind of to make
yeah.
the other group feel better. Now, you asked how
Some
much.
insisted on.
The policy is $2 million aggregate. But you know how insurance companies weasel out of everything.
Yeah.
Basically, they've divided that into a whole bunch of subcategories, they slice it and slice it and slice it again, right? And you have to read the policy to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, just to make it in the news and the Hamgrams to the report, I can just say 2 million aggregate or $2 million insurance policy
Liability.
liability.
I don't even know if you need to specify an amount.
Why are we-
Yeah.
What are we saying?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, the secretary report on the insurance, just saying that we have a $2 million policy just in case anything happens, whether it's an event or tier or what have you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
So that would cover.
I don't think we need to say 2 million. You just have a specific appropriate coverage for events.
We have.
Like, you flash $2 million, then some
And
people
it's
say.
the ARRL plan, but it's underwritten by, so different companies underwrite. Did I send you the name? I think Jim was asking that. I sent him the name. Don't remember. The risk liability is incorporated. I think it's the name of the company. I'm not just person. Anyway, so it's not actually the ARRL. So how that works is the ARRL said, you know, we want to have an insurance plan option available for ham radio clubs across the nation, right? And so ARRL went out and they did the legwork and they said, you know, here's what we're looking for. If there's any, and they contacted all the insurance companies and any insurance company that said, yeah, we'd like to sell, you know, that kind of plan, insurance plan to radio clubs. There were a few of them that stepped up. And I believe the one that we're with is called Risk Strategies, Risk Management Strategies.
You just send me that when you get a chance.
But it's $200 a year.
Okay.
So that covers our needs for special events.
All right. Do you have any other questions? with
We have special events covered under that.
Special ed, exactly.
So we're always covered,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But if you want to get a certificate of insurance, you basically send me an email with the specifics, date, time, and what the event is. And then I have to fill out a form and submit it to our insurance company. It's gonna take, you know, about a week.
Okay,
Okay.
so, all right.
But if you don't have a COI, you're still covered.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
literally
they
all a
want.
COI is an individualized proof of insurance to the person that you are dealing with.
Okay, thank you.
What's that?
All right, last thing on here is CQ Worldwide funding.
Okay, so, when we originally did the budget, we said, $400 for the year for operating activities, with a $50 on each total $100 that we were gonna get back. But since we don't have to pay, because we're using this venue, I'm thinking, say, at the most, $200, which we did anyway, which we, approved anyway for here, and we might not use that much. But just saying, I'm asking for the original $200 that was approved before for this coming up CQ Worldwide.
Yep,
Tell
so
us
there's
about it.
$282.22 left in the budget for operating activities for the year.
Okay,
So when and where and what?
okay, it's the last Saturday in October, hold on one second. October, I believe it's the 25th. Once.
That's gonna be here.
Yeah. October 25th, I was right. So Saturday, October 25th, here, and, we said, 8 to 5, right? Or 9 to 5? 8 or 9? 9 to 5. So we would start here, get here about 8:30 set up and everything. Go from there.
What's the money for?
Well, I figured we need ice, we need drinks, we need, you know, things like thin plates and cutlery and we need pizza pies, you know, all that, just same thing we got for field day, pretty much. You know, maybe some condiments, whatever, napkins, and cups, etc. So I moved, the 200 like originally, approved earlier.
I second that motion. This is William.
All right. Joe moves. William seconds. All in favor? There's the hand. All right. With that, that is all we have on the agenda here.
I have one related item to the CQ Worldwide funding, just sort of tangentially related. I'd like the board's permission to approach a local business owner to see about sponsoring club activities for a discount. Specifically, I'd like to ask Jeff, the owner of J Hara, to see if he'd be willing to sponsor us with things like ice and such like that. There's no guarantee he'll do it, but Jeff's a good friend of a friend, and there's always a possibility.
Wow, nice idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
might as well defend
Might as well.
every opportunity you can there. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
especially for something like ice.
got a jelly.
Yeah,
got a big-
well, because they've got a
Food,
commercial ice maker because they support fishing operations. So, giving us a bag of ice is pretty de minimis for them, and we'll see. We'll see what Jeff says. If you guys are all right with me asking.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
good. I mean, why not? Yeah,
Totally.
put up a ice
Unanimous?
sponsored by
Yeah.
yeah.
Always accept ice.
Got
All
one
right.
further item. Are we okay right now? I've got a new item.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was regarding out-of-pocket expenses for
Oh, yeah.
activities associated with the committee activities where you're at a school, print some forms, or you buy some supplies, you need some gaffer tape, that kind of stuff where you're just reaching in your pocket and spending money. How do we get compensation back to committee members that without necessarily having a receipt in hand? Or do we definitely need a receipt?
Out having a receipt?
Yeah, let's say somebody printed a bunch of documents. There's a supply of ink and paper used, but there's no real accounting for it. It's,
Oh,
So using like your own printer.
I just ran out of paper today. I'm gonna go buy a ream of paper for myself. And I didn't even contemplate asking my heart for reimbursement. Now that you said that, maybe I should.
yeah, well,
Um,
at some point, yeah, you run out of,
my problem is that I'm gonna use it for BOAD and I'm gonna use it for maybe CERT.
Exactly.
And so, that's why I wouldn't typically tend to want to, ask any particular organization because I wouldn't want to be tied. This is BIARC's paper supply and this is BOAD's paper supply,
I understand.
that's too much hassle.
Yeah.
That's why I personally choose to pay for it out of my own pocket. But it kind of depends on what the item is. I mean, printer toner. I don't know. That's,
Okay, it's a matter of.
I personally, I don't think it would be appropriate because printer toner. But, if it's a cable for,
Well, but on the flip side, if you're printing nice color laser copies, that's not cheap, stuff like that. So, I mean, I think if we can get a accounting of, hey, I printed X type of whatever for BIARC, I think we could set a board policy that we reimburse at X amount per page.
the color copies right now cost about $1 a page.
Yeah,
Commercial.
well, in our case, it's the trifold or the BIARC flyer that we're talking about. Where sometimes some events consume a good quantity of those documents and others don't. But yeah, it's hard to quantify. But we could keep an account.
Are we talking about color here?
Yeah.
What is it, Office Max? I always forget that.
Yeah.
I've been sending stuff to them and then you have a paper trail. And you pick it up and you have a receipt,
Color printer?
everything.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
even just an email attestament that, hey, I printed out X number of these pamphlets or whatever on my color printer at home, that we could just set a reimbursement rate based off of the going market rate for printing services.
Okay.
I
But here's
trust
the
every
problem.
board member to be honest about that.
That's not
I
the issue.
don't.
The issue
I'm
is
just
that our
kidding.
budget
I'm just kidding.
has a line item under club administration for office supplies. Bank fees.
However,
miscellaneous.
I believe this goes to the committee's budget, though.
Okay. It's just that this cost can add up rapidly.
Yeah.
And so maybe we leave it to the committee chair to,
Oh, we have a budget line for printing or,
so the bottom line though is, you know, we could do that. That would not be a problem. If the committee chair wants to expense something to their committee, no problem. But I think you can just write up your own receipt, even just an email, you know, that says like, well, you suggested,
You gotta have something on paper.
yeah.
That ideally,
There's gotta be something written.
10
that says,
copies at 20 cents per copy or whatever.
requesting reimbursement of X dollars for Y and Z. That's just something in writing. even if It's not an official
Handwritten
receipt.
receipt.
So,
So how about we, like I say, we adopt a policy that we reimburse for home prints, that we reimburse at, I don't know, 1/2 of the current rate at our local Office Max. So we're taking their profit margin out of it and representing actual expenses, roughly.
3 cents per page.
yeah, I
I
don't
get like
even know if
7
I would
cents
get
per
that
page,
specific. I think I would leave it up to the committee chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you know,
but no, you can't do that because the fiscal aspects are a board responsibility. So the actual amount that we would reimburse for printing is something that has to be set by the board. How they do that within the board or within the committee, whether it goes through the chair or however, that's a separate matter. But when money comes out of the board's fund, or I mean of the club's fund, the board has to be in control of that.
So at or below commercial cost, subject to their budget cap.
I got an easy answer
How
for
about
that, since I do this. 5 cents.
Like I said, color copies.
But like I
cost
said,
$1.
Black and
I'm
white
just giving you a
copies-
number, man. That can be adjusted accordingly, you know.
Black and white copies are not the same as color. So I mean, the color, the cost can really stack up,
Well, it's an easy
especially if
answer.
you
go
use a
with
nice
both.
paper.
alternatively, we could put a line item in for printing, like 1,000
Yeah,
copies of whatever
you
and
could do that. Just say
and,
$50 line item.
have a
for
working
printing.
supply
Once the
on hand
budget's
that
gone.
we just use.
Well, I'm trying to keep it simple. And I'm thinking beyond just printing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking committee chairs can request reimbursements for expenses up to $50.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Cause I can think of just about, you know, like Luke,
Yeah.
I'm sure he has
And
his thing.
subject to
you
the-
know.
budget cap,
Yes, an approval, yeah.
Then all you do is submit the receipts,
yeah.
Okay.
because we trust each other.
How does that sound, William?
Yeah, that sounds fine. And just a side note there that the cheapest copies at Office Max are currently 18 cents a piece.
For color.
No, black and
Period.
white.
That's
Oh.
fine. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Black and white, 18 cents. I tell you, $1 a page for copies that are color.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I,
where, like I said, if we have a committee member who prints 50 flyers, that's it. We're no longer just talking about a few cents out of their pocket. Color toner is
Yeah.
not cheap, and good paper stock is not cheap. So
I
Well,
would find
personally,
out
I've
because
done
we
that
were
a few
talking about
times.
the mechanics of it all, send it to a print, like go to Office Max, just make the order. You know, and pay that rate if you're, unless you're willing to run off a bunch of pages and use your color printer. Cause that's, you know, that's a whole other kind of slope to go down.
Yeah, it's really gotta be up to the per individual, because some people are set up to do that, and some people aren't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You've already invested $5,000 in a
Oh,
nice
no.
laser printer. And you're set up, you're
Yeah.
gonna do it a lot cheaper than what you're gonna pay. for
you
your-
may want to
Yeah.
do it.
It seems inconsequential, but when you put a dollar value on each page, yeah, it adds up.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well, yeah,
print
let's
50
keep it
pages.
general.
I like the $50 idea. It's-
Yeah.
At least it's something to go
Committee
by. You got a budget.
chairs can request reimbursements for incidental expenses up to $50. And the annual budget cap for their committee.
is that per occurrence or a cap for the year of $50?
No, per occurrence,
Okay, just
subject
being clear.
to the annual budget for their committee. So the annual budget might be $200, but an individual request could max be $50 without prior board approval.
That'll be able to
Okay,
streamline
yeah,
it.
it's good to have it. Huh, understood. That's good.
Is that a motion, Tony?
Pardon?
Was that a motion?
Yes,
I second
I'll
it.
second that motion.
too late.
I got it before you did.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great
Aye.
idea. It just kind of makes it easy.
Very good, yeah.
I said aye, Thomas. I was just late on the button.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I move that we close this and get ready for the program.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
And then it doesn't need to be